What is good with it, man? How y'all doing today? I know it's been a while, guys, but we are back, hopefully on a more freaking basis from now on. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. Anyhow, today I want to talk to you about a story that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And the reason why I say that is because it essentially opened up my eyes to an entire new world. And that is, of course, the world of tattoos. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, today we are talking about my first time getting tatted. So, first time sitting down in that tattoo chair. And damn, was it memorable. So here we go. Let me just preface this by saying that this story took place a while back. All right, I was around 19 years old, pretty sure, first year or like first semester out of uni, if I'm not mistaken, first or second. Maybe it was like my second year into university. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but anyways, I digress. I was going back home. I went back home to visit the family for the holidays. I do remember it being like Christmas time. It was just before like the big holidays for Christmas and New Year's began. And yeah, so I was back. I was visiting a couple of the homies, and one of my best homies, one of the ones that basically, yeah, I've known this man since he was born, because we were basically born like at the same time. So basically, since I was born, we've known each other, and we've been friends, and we've kind of like grew up together. He had recently gotten, I don't know if it was his first tattoo or his second, but he had gotten some for sure, because I remember seeing it. I remember seeing him post about it since I didn't live there, and then I remember when I saw him, I asked him about it, and he showed it to me. And yo, mind you, let me tell y'all, I've wanted a tattoo since I was like 14. Since I was 14. But I just never got around to having one. And honestly, like the main reason for that is because I was in that like super indecisive boat of being like, it's forever and I don't know what I want to start with and I need to save up money for it. And so that was just always an excuse, you know what I mean? It would just got to the point where there was always an excuse. There was always a reason for me not to go ahead and do it. But luckily this homie came into the rescue, and he was just there. We were hanging out at I remember it was like some kind of like family member's birthday, like they were having like a party and shit, and he was there, and we were just kind of like hanging out on the side, like chilling and talking. And he was just like, yo, so do you want tattoos? And I was like, bro, yes, I absolutely fucking do, man. I just never got around to it because, I just started saying, money, because money, and I don't know what I want to get, and because of money. And like, to be honest, I did have the funds for it. If I wanted to, I could have definitely saved up the funds for it. But at this point, we prefer to get lit instead, It was kind of that was our hobby and our like the main like thing that we did, that we spent money on. So that was the choice that we were making, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but this homie was just like, nah, man, come on, dude, they're super cheap. And to be fair, I will say in Brazil, where I was at the time, they can be cheap. They are significantly cheaper than most places in Europe and the US that I've seen, for sure. But yeah, so this homie, and then I'm just like, alright, okay, so it's cheap. I do have, like, he just said like a price range, and I was like, okay, I happen to have that on me. And I was like, but what design is it gonna be? And this motherfucker just like immediately, like almost instantaneously, just like pulls out this design and shows it to me, and I'll pop it up on the screen right now. It's basically an unequal sign. And I was like, yo, all right, that's kind of cool. I never thought about it. I was just like, but at the time I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. That's pretty sick. And I was like, yo, where are we getting it? And he was like, yo, I always wanted to get something on my chest. And I was like, dude, I have a plan for my like the chest on my left side, but on the right side I'm down for it. And he was just like, bet. My man just like goes away for a little bit. It starts like making a couple calls, texting a couple people, and comes back 20 minutes later and he's like, yo bro, we got an appointment for tomorrow at like I don't know what, like whatever, like 9, 10, something like that, like 10 in the morning or some shit. You down? And at this point it was too late to back out, bro. It was right there. The opportunity was given to me, and I had to take it. You know what I'm saying? I just had to take it. So we went for it. I was like, bet, let's run it, confirm it, and he does. That night, I remember like we just like, it's easier if I just like spend the night at your crib, and then we just go like as early as soon as we wake up, have breakfast and like dip, because the address was far as fuck. Man, I don't know where the fuck it was, to be honest. To this day, I still don't know where the fuck it was. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So yeah, spend the night at his crib, and the next day, hop in his car. I remember we had like a little bit of bud left from the night before. We had breakfast, roll up some J's, hop in the car, start going, like blaze up, and just kind of chill. I do remember that we had to make one stop to pick up his girl at the time, who he decided to invite with us. So I bet, man, sure, she can come. I don't mind. She was kind of chill. She was just kind of like hanging out. Didn't really do much. So I don't think she really needs a name or to be like properly introduced to the story like that, But my homie, which I now realize I never even gave him a name. We're gonna call him. What can we call him, man? What can we call him? We're gonna call him Guy. Alright. So the homie Guy, he's like driving us out, and I noticed that we freaking leaving the city, and I'm like, dude, where the fuck are we going? And he says the name of the place, and I never heard of it before, and he's like, yeah, dude, it's like a couple towns over, and it's like in the middle of nothing, man. It's like a little place, and I was like, bet, bro, but you sure about this? Because mind you, to this point, I had no idea about anything. The only thing I knew is that I had agreed to a design and that it was gonna go on my chest. That was it. That was the extent of my knowledge so far. But it was a simple design, like I popped it up before. Y'all seen it, so like I wasn't too worried about somebody being too talented. I also had no idea about how much skill it took to do any kind of tattooing. Because to be fair, at this point, my experience, like my exposure to tattoos was super limited in terms of, I had a couple friends. I had some friends in uni with tattoos and shit, and I knew a couple people in high school, but in terms of within, I guess like within my close circle, there really wasn't much, man. There really wasn't much. But anyways, we're like, after, I don't even fucking know how long, to be honest with y'all, man. It must have been like an hour, 2 hours, probably closer to 2 hours driving out. We pull up to this group of buildings, literally sitting in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's just fields all around, and then there's just like a little cluster of buildings. And homie pulls up to like the entrance. There's like a guard with like there's a gate and shit. And he's just like, oh, we're here to see this guy. And it's like, oh, the tattoo artist. And my friend guy is like, yeah. And the entrance guard is just like, I'll let y'all in. And we're like, bet. So this is like, okay, cool first impressions. At least he's known in the area for doing this shit, And my homie Guy, he's just like, oh yeah, no, dude, he's the guy that did my tattoo, and he did my friend's tattoo and my other friend's tattoo. So it's like, it's all good. No, you can trust him. And he's selling me on this guy. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm assuming there's gonna be a shop somewhere around here, like in the near vicinity, maybe he has like a shop set up among the buildings, the apartments, or type shit. Ah, man, no, that was not the case. We pull up, and this guy just opens the door to his house, And he just like has us sit down in the living room. He's like, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And we're just like, "Yo, man, we called you about like this design." And he's like, he looks at it, he's like, yeah, dude, and it's this motherfucker, yo, I ain't gonna lie, this guy reminded me of freaking Moist Critical, you know? He was like super pale, white dude with like long hair, just like, sleepy kind of eyes. That was the vibe that I got off of him. And he just like he looks at like through his messages and he's like, oh, yeah, you wanted this design. Do you want it like this exactly? Because we had sent him a picture of it. And we was like, yeah, just like that. And he's like, I'm gonna start tracing it. And I'm just watching him do it because, first experience actually seeing this whole process. Also, since I'm getting it, I'm super excited. And I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Let's see how this whole process works. Yo, my guy straight up puts the tracing paper up to his computer screen, this old ass freaking like office, like 1990s office ass computer screen, and just like starts tracing it right off of the computer screen, bro. This is the ghettoest shit I've seen. It was fucking trippy as hell. He just like tapes the paper onto the monitor and starts tracing it. And I was like, yo, shit, okay. At this point, I thought this was like the normal way of doing it. I had never seen anything else. So I'm just like watching, like in awe, like, shit, this is cool. Oh, damn, that's how you get the paper? Oh, crap, And yeah, so after he gets the tracing done, he opens up this other door in the living room, right? And then in that door, there's like a little room. Through the door, there's a little room with a chair, like the actual usual like tattoo studio chair, already like completely wrapped up. There's a little like kit with drawers and a machine, and there's like a needle sitting out on the desk, man. My homie guy, he's afraid that I'm gonna back out, so he's like, yo, you're going first, just so you know. He had already warned me about this like before we got there. He was just like, you're going first because I don't want you to back out. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna back out. I'll definitely go first, anyways, because I was curious. So I was definitely down to get it, to like see what it felt like. I was excited as fuck, so I was down to go first, anyways. I had no problem not having to wait, So I see the needle. The tattoo artist now sees me looking at it, and he's like, oh, bro, I had this needle out for somebody, but they canceled. I promise you, it's clean. I just opened it. Do you mind if I use it on you? And my genius ass, my freaking dumb motherfucking ass is just like, nah, no worries, bro. I trust you. Yo, shit, bro, for real. I don't know what the fuck, man. What the fuck came over me? I was just like, nah, no worries. Yeah, go for it. And he's just like, bet, to be fair, he was a pretty nice guy, man. I know that does not excuse my actions. That was the first time I met him, and I was just agreeing to that. But hey, we're fine. Okay, I've had several blood examinations and shit since. We are all good. I can guarantee that we survived. We survived that choice, so it was all good. It was the right choice in that occasion. That's all I'm saying. but yeah. Anyway, so I sit down in the chair, and this guy gets like real up and close, and like he does I remember he was like, oh, this is your first tattoo? And I was like, yeah. I'm really excited. I've wanted one for ages, but I just never got around to it. And he was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do the first line so you can see what it feels like, and then we'll go from there. And I was like, cool. So he did that first line, and I remember like feeling it. He stopped. He was like, how did it feel? I was like, yeah, it felt alright. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt at all. To be honest, a lot of people say the chest is an area that's like particularly tender, but in my case, I did like a completely filled out tattoo, and honestly did not feel any pain. It was cool. I was just like, I was just chilling there, and so he started working, did his thing, like did the outline. I was just like watching the whole time, just like mesmerized by the process. Honestly, to this day, I love watching a tattoo get made. Like sometimes I'll be up on YouTube watching videos of like tattoos getting made. Or like, whenever I'm sitting in that chair, man, I'm always just like watching the process and just like mesmerized by the artistry, dude. Cause damn, it's It's fucking crazy, man. I have mad respect for tattoo artists, yo. Mad respect, yo. If you're a tattoo artist, shout outs to you, dude. Cause, yo, that takes art, man. That takes some artistry for real. But yeah, everything was super. Everything went super copacetic. We got he got the thing done. Honestly, it probably took him about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. It was quick. And then my homie guy went and did the exact same design, which was also cool. It was a cool thing, to have like my first tattoo be like with the homie. It was like with the homie that like has been with me for life, So yo, shout outs to you, my guy. Yo, so that was also like a sick like extra perk to the whole idea. Yo, I do remember after I was done though, I was like, yo, can I get some water? And when he went to pour the water, dude, for some reason I got mad shakes, yo. Like my hand just started shaking. Like I almost spilled the water from the cup as he was like pouring it, because for some reason I was like, zzz, I don't know, like the whole like adrenaline and the thought of it being like, yo, it's done. Yeah, I guess it was just like being released from my body. And I was just like so hyped that I was like, I couldn't sit still. So I was super excited, man. Yo. And then, but also throughout this whole time, the thing is that I had never mentioned it to anybody. Like, this is a conversation between like my homie guy and I, but I had never mentioned anything to either of my parents. And like, yo, they were, let's just say at the time, man, they were much more traditional, and like that tattoos was not a thing in the family, like in the near family at all, as I mentioned before. So I was like definitely curious to see what the reaction was, man. I had always told them that I was gonna get something. I just never told them like when. And for those of you who know like what like the typical Latino families be like, you know what I'm talking about, man. Just showing up with like random tattoo. It can go like so many different ways depending on the like the type of parent that you have, man. So I was definitely wondering what kind of situation I was gonna be running into when I got back. I got dropped off at my grandma's like house that's like way out like in the countryside as well, also like a little town village sort of scenario. And I just remembered like both of my parents coming up to me like in the room. I was just like dropping off my shit, and they were like, yo, like how's everything? And I was like, yeah, everything was cool. Yo, I got something to show you. And then like I lifted up my shirt, and because it was like wrapped up, I just remember my dad being like, yo, what the fuck, did you get stabbed? And I was like, nah, no, it's all good, man, don't worry, it's nothing like that. I just got tattooed. And he was like, oh, all right, yo, okay. Yo, that's some prison shit right there, man. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, that was his stance on it, which is real funny, because like nowadays he's the one that's currently kind of like on hooked on getting like tattooed, man. So it was kind of funny that just a couple years ago that was his stance on it. And my mom just kind of like laughed it off, and she was like, "Ah, damn, bro. I knew you was gonna do this at some point. I just hoped it was gonna be later on," which I get. But anyways, man, yo, yeah. Anyways, moral of the story. Yo, sometimes opportunities just present themselves to you, and it's up to you to decide whether you're gonna take it or leave it. I could have, this story could have gone like so many different ways. I could have ended up with something that I deeply regret in front of my body, where I have to see it every day, and it would have sucked. But in the end, I got an amazing story, and the design actually ended up becoming like a super cool, like a super like near and dear thing to my heart. Not just because it's like literally sitting on top of my chest, but because I don't know, sometimes I like to use it as a logo as well, so it's kind of become one of my like personal logos. So I will say this, in the end, it's only up to you to make a decision and choose which choices are worth taking the risk on, and which choices just are not for you. Yo, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I do hope to be back with more stories for you all more frequently nowadays. And if y'all liked anything about the story, or shitty ass freaking drawing that I'm currently got making in the background here, let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate all of y'all. Have an amazing ass day. Deuces.